It's Gomez and company here as we welcome in former SU great and NBA veteran Etan Thomas here on the phone. Etan, good morning. How are you today?
I'm doing pretty good. How's everybody doing over there?
Good.
Great.
As we talked about last week, old school January here for you in Central New York. Cold, more snow on the way. Wednesday, the highs will be somewhere in the low to mid teens. But that's all right. That's the character. It builds character here in Central New York.
Build something.
Well, first, I'm sure you watched NFL. So sorry about your Washington Commanders there.
Yeah, it was a great game though. I know that Eagles fans are all happy all over the place. So it was a great game.
But well, you know what? It was a couple of untimely turnovers turned really the page. I mean, it could have had a much obviously different outcome, but the turnovers are always going to come back to bite you like that.
Yeah, that last fumble when they heading on that stretch, trying to go upfield, and they looked like they had a good little rhythm, and then that one fumble that hurt the momentum. But hey, you got to tip your hat to the Eagles. They played well.
Ton, on to the game on Saturday for the Orange. If you didn't know the outcome and just looked at the box score, you would have thought they won the game. They had out-rebounded Pitt, I think 48-31, made 11 three-pointers. Eddie with 23 rebounds. Those are some pretty good numbers across the board. And then you look at the final score, and they weren't able to pull it out. What happened there?
Well, I don't think it was a matter of things that we didn't do necessarily well. I know a lot of times the criticism is that our late game execution or defense or something like that. I thought Pitt just played better, to be honest with you. Lamptey had 23 rebounds, and it's so interesting with him because he's not really the most athletic person, you know what I mean, in college sports right now. But the way that he moves and gets position, every big man coach, would use him as an example that you don't have to be athletic, you don't have to jump out the gym, but you move and you get position and the ball comes right to you. Every big man coach is going to use him as an example. But it just, it was more of a credit to what Pitt did. I mean, some of those plays that they executed down the stretch, and it's not that we were playing bad defense. We were just maybe a split hair late on the rotation or something like that, and then they capitalized. But you got to tip your hat. They played well.
And I know the Pitt guards at the end of the game really took over too, and just really unable to get those last minute stops.
Yeah, and it was tough, because it was one of those games where when you have a game where you don't play well and you can point to a whole lot of different things, this happened and this happened. I don't think this was one of those games. I think we just didn't win. And, you could say that sometimes, and I know JJ was on the bench for an extended period of time, especially in the first half, because he was in foul trouble. But when he was on the bench, we still played well. We was right in the game the whole time. And, the lead just was barely changing. So it wasn't one of those games where you could just say everything was terrible. We just didn't win.
So, Etan, what can we take moving forward? What should they be taking with them as they progress?
Well, I think that there was if Eddie Lampkin could get 23 rebounds by himself, I think that, with other, and I'll still be able to out-rebound opponents, then other guys got to keep rebound. Because I saw one of the points of emphasis of Coach after the game was there's a few key rebounds that, he pointed out specific guys that missed. And so if Eddie's rebounding like that, then other guys, we can't miss rebounds. You know what I mean? He's making too much of it. That's a game where, if we would have won, the amount of praise that he would have received for having 23 rebounds. And, if he playing that kind of game, it almost ruined it for us. So for me, I'm happy to see him have the success because of how much criticism that he has received personally. And I'm a big man, so I have big man bias. I always admit to that. But, the rebounding has to be we can't have a situation where coach is pointing to rebounding and saying that, that was an issue when you have a guy that has 23 rebounds. So other guys have to step it up. That's all.
On to the game this week. Trip out west, the new face of the ACC with Stanford and Cal, now in the ACC conference, so a cross-country trip. And it's 11 p.m. tip-off Eastern time on Wednesday night. I'll be honest with you, I haven't been following Stanford and the West Coast teams as closely, but what do you see in Stanford and Cal for the upcoming games this week?
For first of all, nobody has an issue with us having to go across the country to play two California teams at 11 o'clock. This is not the way it should be in college basketball. I do not understand how they are part of the ACC.
Right.
I don't understand.
Yeah, right.
Like,
Yes.
That doesn't, we know it's, all about money. We know it's about, but that doesn't seem like that should be what we're talking about right now. But, that aside, they got to come out there and be able to steal one on this West Coast trip. I mean, I don't know what our record is in ACC. I know it's not very good, but they got to be able to steal one. But, yeah, no, like I said before, that's absurd to even say that we're flying out to California for a West Coast swing.
To play at 11 o'clock.
They announced the
Come
football
on.
schedules as well for coming up in the fall and some of the upcoming games and road trips that the football team similar that we'll be making.
Yeah, no, it's just I don't want to sound like the old guy or whatever, but that's just not how it was back in the day. Like, you played teams in your region. Like, I don't know. It's a new day, so I guess I got to let it go. But that just doesn't seem right to me.
Etan, well, thanks. As always, stay well. And then, and speaking of keeping track, I'm trying to keep track, but you're on with Devo today, correct, at 11?
Yeah. We have a lot that we want to talk about, and it's just so interesting because, the fans, I want to hear, and fans have a reason to be upset. Don't get me, misunderstand. I know fans have a reason to be upset, but I want to see what they point to in this last game where I thought overall we played well as being the issue. You know what I mean? So we're going to probably open it up for callers while we're on, me and Devo. But I would like to hear from fans to let them express what exactly the issues that they saw.
Good stuff. It's Etan Thomas. Thanks, Etan. We will check in again next Monday morning.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thanks as always.
Yep.